Hello everybody from at the house Phnom Penh, the Cambodian German Cultural Center. My name is Nico Mesterharm. I'm the director of this institution, and I'm also a German filmmaker based in Cambodia since the year 2000. I have the pleasure today to introduce you to my colleague and friend, Chum Reap. He's a Cambodian filmmaker that I have the pleasure to work with since 2005 or 2006. Today we want to lead a little conversation around Cambodian filmmaking and how does it connect to Europe and the European film industry. Thanks, Reap, for coming today. Maybe you introduce yourself and you explain us, how did you become a filmmaker?
Sure, yeah. My name is Chum Reap. I became a filmmaker since I started working with the government as a journalist, a TV journalist. And later on I joined with the BBC, and then I learned a lot from the BBC, and then I have to sort myself. I have books, proper Western book about the film, about the technicality of the things. So that's the way that I developed myself as a filmmaker, yeah.
So it was basically learning by doing.
Learning by doing and learning to the proper book that writing about how to produce a film.
I mentioned learning by doing because Reap, as you just said, like all other filmmakers or most other filmmakers in Cambodia, you were not able to go to a film school because there is no film school in Cambodia.
Yeah, really, yeah, no film school.
Hence, since I think the 1990s, when Cambodia, after years of turmoil, a civil war, a genocide, opened up, the UN came, the film industry here has been revitalized. I mean, Cambodian films are produced, not so many in the 90s, nowadays much more. What are most Cambodian films about? How's the local film industry, Reap?
Nowadays, it seems that the film industry in Cambodia compared to 1990, it's much far better than during that time, because many filmmakers try to doing this in this profession. So they start to produce film. But good or bad, it depends on their creativity and story, you know. Sometimes it can survive for a while, sometimes it's good, you know. And I heard that maybe 1 or 2 people could send their film to join the international festival abroad. So it's good, it starts to step forward, you know. So
yeah, that's a different time now. I mean, when I came in 2000, there were only a few cinemas left. Nowadays, you have multiplexes in shopping malls. You have digital quality projection, sound. It's all there. What are the Cambodian films that are produced about? I mean, is that drama, comedy, horror? What kind of genres do we see here?
Ghost story, and then some go to romantic story. Yeah, both could be the films projecting in a cinema nowadays. But I can see beyond that Cambodia would not only produce those a few genres. It should be beyond that one. That could be look beyond the Cambodian market after this, and then how they sell their film and how internationally understood about, you know, about the film from Cambodia. Is not really focused on only Cambodian, but they should maximize the capacity and creativity to the other international markets. That's what I personally understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that many foreigners, you're right, Reap, they should learn much more about Cambodia today. Maybe also about Cambodian history. Yeah. However, being a foreigner, I have often observed here that and also listened and have read about it from other foreigners, that many people in foreign countries, what they know about Cambodia would be the beauty of the temples of Angkor Wat, one of the 7 wonders of the world, and then the horrors of the Khmer Rouge regime, Pol Pot dictatorship, 1.7 million killed, and so on. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people only know, or most people only know, about these things? Why people don't know so much about other very interesting things that happen here in Cambodia?
I think this it could be a good question. For this one, I think the writer of Cambodia or a filmmaker Cambodia, they should think broader to the audience, not just about the Khmer Rouge story or not just about the ghost story. They should think about what benefit, co-benefit between the audience and the filmmaker, you know. When the filmmaker get bigger market, bigger audience, so they can get benefit, but the audience learn something that's good learning from Cambodia. That's what I think. So I guess, I'm not sure 100%, but I guess this because the capacity of creativity, one, in terms of the story development, and then two, in terms of money capital to how to invest it, because I think purely Cambodian filmmaker, we don't have enough fund for doing a big film. Like nowadays, I am a part-time film coach at one university, so I inspire my students to look to the big picture, not a small one, because the small one everybody know, and then it become a stereotype, not really interesting anymore. So the market develop very fast, so we have to present something, even a short film. So I have taught about 4 years at university, and of course because the students very young, and then at the end they do short film, and then not a really quite good short film. But this year I'm really proud with my students. They produced one short film but could join the international festival. So the short film teach the people a lot inside. So I start to be, you know, proud myself and proud for my students that now they understood what I mean.
Now let's look a little bit into the future. What do you think now is most needed to actually build up on what has been delivered so far?
People seem that not everyone absorbed and understood well about the creativity in terms of scripting. You know, when they write a script, sometimes they write too normal, that not attract the audience. You know, it's limit on this one. Yeah, and we are challenging to teach them on that also, that to find a way, to find a gate how they can pull out their creativity, their knowledge to support the script to be strong, good enough, and then we look to the part of technical aspects that could be helped to make the movie good. So we have two parts, let's say two parts, one scripting, one technicality. So the technicality is not a big issue, we teach people know, but the problem is the idea, the concept, how to scratch their story from outline to screenplay, for example. So they very hard to do like the story more suspense or more attractive, you know, how to build a conflict in a well curved nicely. Sometimes the story very flat. So it needs a lot of time for the young generation. This is my experience that I face with my students. So maybe one generation we got 2 or 3 people only that very creative. But out of that, they just come and prefer the certificate, you know, that they think that the certificate important. But they should think more about the important is the real capacity what they got at the end, you know. So the scripting, the idea, the concept is very important.
Yeah, I think also that it starts again with reading. Reading is not so popular here.
It's not popular.
Unfortunately, it has also something to do with the fact that there are not so many books in Khmer language. The country is small, has something to do with the market. Many foreign books are not translated. Let's say only a few foreign books are translated. People have to speak English if they want to read English books. That poses another challenge.
This good point that I told them. Even this I want to speak, to stretch up to the government part a little bit, because at the university, the students, of course, they study English, but some people did not take care enough about English, because writing the thesis at the end, the government school or the private school here allow students to write in Khmer. So they don't care so much, you know, even they study, they don't care so much about the English one. So maybe 20% I teach that they can access to research or whatever in English. The other 80% they rely on Khmer. So we rely on Khmer, so we got limited sources to help them, you know. That's the big issue. So I'm talking every day, but maybe I'm very small. My word is not impact to the improvement, but I can see that not only the film, but all aspects in Cambodia, when students study, should be English and Khmer the same, equally, so that they can have the quality to compete for international markets. Otherwise, they don't find international market. That's the point.
Yeah, but what I want to say is that I think the main problem also in motivating young filmmakers here in Cambodia is that they don't really know where to apply for money. They sometimes can't apply in foreign countries because they don't speak English so well.
And the writing is a problem.
Then exactly. Then they don't find money here. Example, there is no state funding for films, there is no support. So that means that at some point they become commercial directors, or they start to work for NGOs, which all somehow limits their creativity. Because they want to tell a story.
I agree.
They can't tell that story. If they work for an NGO, the NGO tells them what kind of story to tell. If they work for an ad company, well, it will be an advertisement spot.
They work just for money, you know.
Exactly. But wouldn't we want to have a system in place where young Cambodian filmmakers, some of them, can competitively pitch for their ideas and get awarded, even if it's only 3 or 4 per year.
They can write and then propose for fun, you know. They can write even the short film, but they can write proposal and then they can access here that whoever that can see, they would be qualified for,
in their local language, you know, just write a proposal in Khmer, and hopefully find governmental support. I remember that the Ministry of Culture has set up a little fund per year. I don't know, possibly it was halted during COVID-19. That also hit the film industry hard. It hit all spheres in cultural life very hard. But what I want to say is there is, I think, on the side of the Ministry of Culture, a small funding system in place for artists to pitch for. So I think that would be a nice thing to have in the future, that there's also a little grant scheme for local filmmakers here in Cambodia, that they can at least develop their ideas. Even though if it's just for the development, it would help. Because I think that, again, we have a lot of talent in this country. Cambodia is definitely an emerging nation in Southeast Asia. So now we have to enable the young Cambodian filmmakers to tell their stories to the world. So you said again, you said script writing is important, you teach, a film school would be important, more workshops, budget, but I think also local support. I think that is very important also in all fields of art, that local artists, local creatives receive also local support. If they only have to apply for money overseas, it looks like the people here, they don't really value their work.
I tell you honestly, about this nation, it's still young for people who have the money. They think on other investment. They think about the benefit, the time of investment and return. It's not seeing the film as a key communication media tool. So this one, it needs time to teach Cambodia on this. As I learned, Chinese people, they are very smart. They look, because they are doing business and they know that the film very important to communicate between film to the audience. So the way they work faster than us. This is what I learned. I mean the people who try to sponsor play, to try to sponsor this and that, they come around and then they said, I can help you this, I can help you that. But for Cambodia, it's 180 degree different. So the rich people, they never think about this. They never think that film important, or they want to invest just 10,000 or 20,000 and see in the future what's happening. So they never do that. So I don't know how to find a way to let them change, but maybe in the future they learn from the mistakes. So they learn from what they should be improved, you know. So something like this. So the characteristic of the people are different. So for local sponsor, very hard. If they sponsor, they want to get benefit. So they want to put this, put that, and then a lot of advertising in that. So the film look down, credibility down. So they need to put their brand or whatever. So like that. So.
Yeah, I think this is also why you have state support. I mean, that's also many arts and culture institutions in the West, many films, they receive state support for that reason.
Yeah.
Because we understand that sometimes it's hard to make the money back with art. Yeah? It's clear if you produce entertainment, there's a box office, there's cross-promotion, there's sponsoring, there's press and PR. But we are here trying really to talk about the art of filmmaking. So this is why I believe that state support for the local film scene, state support for the local film scene is really important. It's important for the young colleagues to learn more. So a film school would have been and is still a big wish, I think, by all key players in this industry here.
Yeah.
The Koreans, I remember that Reap years ago, they said they would provide money for a film school, and then the economic crisis happened in Asia and the money wasn't there anymore. Your son is also a filmmaker. He studied in Korea.
Yeah, he got a sponsor from Korean American, and then he paid the school for him. So I don't have the money to sponsor my son.
So very lucky then.
Yeah, very
so
lucky,
you have to be basically lucky also to be able to study abroad.
Yeah.
I mean, he must be also very happy, because that's also we need to explain is that many young Cambodians, they also look towards Asia. They don't necessarily look towards Europe. They watch Thai films, they watch Korean films, they listen to music from these countries. What I want to say, and also China definitely, the influence of other Asian bigger countries in Cambodia is also growing. And again, our idea here was to explore a little bit the relation between Cambodian cinema, Cambodian film and Europe. Now also on the agenda is a strong Asian influence, China, Korea.
I think for that, let me give the idea a little bit that not every country is best. For example, like China produces many films, but many films it fit to the audience here according to the time, according to education, and according to generation, you know, because the film about magic thing or whatever, that it could be for a time being only, but it's not for all the time. It's good, you know. And Europe also as well, that it's not all the film in Europe is good for Asia or Cambodia, but there are some company that's good, that they should learn from it, you know. And from Korea, it's not all Korean film is good, but there are a few films that led by a very professional director that when I watch it, I love the film that produced by a few Korean directors. It's good also, you know. So they should benchmark Asia in what type of film, under which director, you know, what concept is about, what is good. They study in Europe, in Hollywood. So what is good about, you know? It's not good for all, but it's good for learning how to benchmark from the best one, you know, and how to do the film in Cambodia and make it improve, you know, not stay still. That's my personal point of view, because we should not to be greedy enough that only Cambodian culture is good, or only religion, Buddhism, religion, or only Angkor Wat, or only the Khmer Rouge. We have a lot of things about human life that Europe want to see also, that other countries want to see also from Cambodia, that I said before. Yeah.
Thank you, Ria. Yeah. Thank you for that conversation, and I wish you all the luck and success for the future projects.
Bless
and I
you
hope
too.
we can work together on more
occasions.
Thank
you. Now we work as a friend, so.
Thank you, Ria.
Yeah. Thank you.